Hello, Dr. Yates and everyone. It's Nathaniel here. Excited to be with you and excited to share my course project with you all. So the topic of my literature review focused on improving adult learning through civic participation. And when I was considering my course project, I wanted to utilize that literature review and the research findings from that literature review to help improve adult learning in the community where I serve. So if you recall, I work for a small city called Kennedale. It's located in the southern part of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex here in Texas. We have a population of just under 10,000 people, and I serve as their Director of Community Development. So I reached out to our public library to ask about ways that we can improve adult learning in the community and found that they have a severe need for adult programming this summer in particular. They've got plenty of programs for summer reading for the kids, but they were desperately looking for some adult programming and programming that was geared towards our small business community. So during those summer workshops, I plan on presenting my course projects, and it's actually 2 tracks. So it will take place, we haven't pinned down a specific date just yet, but we're looking at about June and July. And so in June and July, I will be talking specifically about residential permitting and zoning, and then a second track that is specifically over commercial permitting and zoning. So the first track of my summer workshop will cover it's an introduction to residential permitting and zoning, and it's geared towards our property owners, folks that live in our community that have questions about the overall permit process, why that's important, but also want a little bit more understanding on what zoning is. So we begin our residential workshop with providing just a general overview of what residential permitting it is, how to navigate the city's website on locating permit applications, the information on our schedule of fees, and how to utilize some of our tools on our website. Following our residential overview, we'll get into an introduction of what code officials are, who they are, and the vital role they play in health and safety or ensuring health and safety within the community. And we'll be using resources and particularly a video that the ICC International Code Council has provided. So ICC stands for the International Code Council. They're a group that put together model codes for building codes. In most jurisdictions, the city that you live in has an adopted building code, at least we hope, and that's the goal. These model codes have specific standards for residential building, but also plumbing, mechanical, electrical, and a variety of other specific trades, and navigating these codes can be somewhat tricky for property owners. So given all the model codes that are out there, in this particular track, we'll just narrow it down to a couple highlighted areas on the 2018 International Residential Code, and that is the code that Kennedale currently has adopted. Within the IRC, we'll discuss important things about means of egress, how to get out of your home safely, windows, doors, lighting requirements, things of that nature. After our quick overview of the IRC, I then will take property owners and we will navigate the Tarrant Appraisal District's website. Tarrant Appraisal District, just like in the community where you live, your appraisal district is where you can find information regarding tax information on your own property, but also those are your neighbors. And so when tax season comes around, you can compare to see what your property is assessed and valued at compared to those in your neighborhood. So we'll then get into a discussion of our Unified Development Code. And what this is a zoning ordinance. Participants will be tasked with identifying, using the Tarrant Appraisal District and using our own GIS maps, locating their property and identifying what their residential zoning classification is. We will then get into just some quick highlights of what those spatial requirements are. Spatial requirements are governed by your zoning district, and those are very, very important. So let's say you want to build a pool in your backyard, or maybe you want to add a pergola or a room addition. You need to understand kind of what the limits of your property are, how far you can build, where you can build on your property. We then move into a interactive GIS map overview, and GIS stands for Geographical Information Systems. And we have this map available on our website that property owners can utilize. It's a color-coordinated map, and so it identifies every zoning classification and district in town. And participants will be tasked with locating their actual property within the map, and it's something they can do from their smartphone or iPad. Switching gears to track 2, it's a overview of our commercial permitting and zoning. And this particular track is geared towards our local commercial landowners, business owners, and real estate agents. And just like our residential property owners, our business owners and contractors will provide them an overview on how to locate the applicable permit applications for their field. Let's say you want to open up a business in Kennedale, or you're a commercial business owner already looking to expand. You need to understand some important things such as certificate of occupancy requirements, asbestos survey requirements and hazards, as well as an important program called the Elimination of Architectural Barriers that is a state program and requires state project registration for your commercial project. And that program is geared towards improving accessibility for folks that have maybe a physical or a mental challenge and how they navigate the built environment. Now, whereas residential property owners are governed by the International Residential Code, commercial properties are governed by the International Building Code. And this building code has a separate set of requirements that commercial landowners, real estate agents, and business owners should be familiar with. So let's think about what kind of business maybe you want to open up. Is that a restaurant? Is that just a real estate office? Or maybe you want to open up a church. There are certain requirements that each one of these occupancy group classifications have. And the building code here, the IBC 2018 IBC that Kennedale has adopted, has a specific set of standards for each one of those classifications. Now, an important part for our business contractors is to understand what the cost is for construction and what those potential permit fees can be. And so part of our group activity in this particular track is we're going to take your business owners and your business contractors through an activity on how to calculate a permit fee. It's a lot easier than it sounds. Following our calculation of our permit fees, we'll get into a discussion of the Unified Development Code again, but this time we're going to focus more on our commercial districts, what those spatial requirements are. But unlike what residential typically has to navigate with, is that when you try to open up a business or want to open a business, there are a couple other things that you have to consider, such as parking, landscape requirements, things of that nature. And like before, we'll cover GIS as well, but specifically for our commercial districts in town, this is important for real estate agents. So if you want to market a property correctly, you understand what the zoning classification is. And then we'll also talk about our future land use plan to ensure that anything that you want to have built at that location or that you're selling for a potential buyer, they'll be able to do what they want to do at that property. Both our residential and commercial tracks will have an opportunity for Q&A with our development staff, as well as the all-important workshop evaluations. And so with that, I want to thank you again for opportunity to present the course project. I wish you all very, very well in your projects. I look forward to hearing and seeing from you all soon. Take care.